What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to Omar BYT, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, guys, to another episode of the Barcelona News Roundup. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with another news roundup. Big up to every single one of you. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, guys. And we do have some three news that we like to get into. There's not a lot of news coming out. It's kind of like a recycle of the few things we talked about last week. There've not been a lot of new links recently. However, there has been a lot of updates in some of the news that we talked about last week. As far as maybe the Joan Garcia move is concerned, I will be getting into it because there has been some news coming out of the club or in the last few hours. Also, guys, I will be talking about Luis Díaz's, potential future arrival to this club, or maybe not. Maybe he could be on his way to Saudi Arabia. I will be getting into all of that. But before we get started, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let's go, guys. And listen, guys, before we get started, I do want to quickly start by congratulating PSG, ladies and gentlemen. PSG are the champions of Europe. They defeated Inter Milan, absolutely humiliated them, battered them pillar to post. It wasn't a close game in the slightest. In the end, they have completed the treble, and look, much deserved. Let's be honest, much deserved. In 2025, they went to another level. They were absolutely cooking, and they were the best team in Europe, right? I think a lot of people, they were saying, apart from Barcelona, they were the best team in Europe. They were definitely very scary, but hey, they have made it here. They are the champions of Europe for the first time in their history. And let's be honest, right? If you look at the whole PSG project, this was all it came down to. They were trying to win the Champions League. They've had a lot of ups and downs in the past few years. They've had a lot of failures. They've had a lot of embarrassments. Been in the end of comebacks. And, they've had amazing players at this club. So this feels like a long time coming. And in the end, they got it done. But for me, the people I do want to congratulate the most are Dembele and Luis Enrique. Now, let's start with the manager, Luis Enrique. Barcelona legend, both as a player and as a manager. This man did it all. You guys see the picture? 10 years apart, ladies and gentlemen. 10 years ago today, he won us our last Champions League. He won us the treble, right? 10 years later, he's won the treble again with PSG. At the end of the day, he's proven himself. I've always known he's a top manager. Many people might have underrated him because many people thought that he had a great team at Barcelona, so it doesn't really count. He's now proven that he is one of the best managers in the world. And he is a manager that people need to put some respect on his name, because this guy is that guy, right? Congratulations. At the end of the day, think about what he had to do. I remember telling people at the start of the season when PSG was struggling, I told people, I said, listen, PSG are struggling now, but I think that right now they are just struggling because they are trying to basically find a new formula to play together with now that Mbappe is not in the team. Because for a long time, it was always Mbappe FC. And you've seen in the second half of the season, he found a way. He found a way, and he absolutely deserves all of the credit that comes to his way. But another person I need to talk about is this man, Usman Dembele. Former Barcelona player, a player who a lot of us Barcelona fans, we had a lot of high hopes for. We thought, we saw a lot. He had a lot of potential since he came into the game. We thought we were buying the next big thing, and he showed flashes of in his time here in the club. But let's be honest, ever since he left Barcelona, he's gone to another level. And a little bit of part of me, has always been frustrated with him. I'll be honest, right? I'll be the first one to admit. He's always one of those guys who's always frustrated me, because I always thought that he had a lot of talent. But unfortunately, you can't work with injuries. That's not his fault. Football injuries is a part of the game. But, I felt like, even when he was playing, he was very inconsistent. His finishing was very, very poor for a long time. Right. And, in the end of his time at the club, you remember how his agent was moving. These were all things, that kind of, maybe gave a lot of Barcelona fans a bitter taste in their mouth. But at the end of the day, congratulations to Usman. And look, at the end of the day, a lot of Barcelona fans, they have a lot of opinions. I think with the way he's ended his season, he's the favorite for the Ballon d'Or, honestly. I think that he's honestly, if we're going to be honest, he has peeped Yamal as the favorite for the Ballon d'Or now, especially now that he's completed the Champions League. He's been absolutely cooking this season, absolutely been amazing this season. So he fully deserves all the praises that come his way. And listen, congratulations, like I said, to PSG. Congratulations to Enrique. And congratulations to Usman Dembele. And yeah, man, we do have to move on to the Barcelona news, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is a guy right here who has been in the news recently, right? I remember a few days ago, as you guys know, Luis Díaz has been one of Barcelona's priority targets in the summer. We know Deco is completely obsessed with this guy. He wants this guy to be his star signing, right? You've been hearing all of the money that Barcelona apparently been trying to spend potentially for him, which is ridiculous, honestly. But we know he has been one of, or the most important target for Barcelona and Deco this season. Now, recently, guys, there's been a lot of things that have been going crazy right now on Twitter with some of the cryptic messages that Luis Díaz has been coming up in the past few days. And funny enough, I was actually on Copish this week speaking to Kyle, and during the conversation, he actually showed me this. Now, this is actually what Luis Díaz said, I think, after the game, right? This is a message that many people have been saying is cryptic. Basically, this confirms that he's leaving these guys, Liverpool, at the end of the season. I mean, this is what he said. Basically, in short, he said, and so comes to an end another season in this incredible club. And what a season it was. The Premier League is ours. My thanks goes to everyone, teammate, coaching staff, club staff, supporters. It was an unforgettable season, one I will always carry to my heart. Obviously, the slogan, "You'll never walk alone." And many people kind of said that this is kind of like his way of basically, saying his goodbyes at the club. And I'll be honest, when I first saw this, I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, it was the end of the season. He was just trying to, kind of just say his last goodbyes with the club and everything else. However, guys, his partner actually also tweeted something, which I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the tweet, it started to make me wonder. Now, this is what his missus actually ended up tweeting, right? This is what he ended up writing. This is what, in short, this is what he said. He said, he said, to the incredible Liverpool fans, from the first time we arrived, we felt firsthand what it means to be part of this club. We knew the slogan was, "You never walk alone," but to hear them sing it with so much passion, support us every moment, and showed us unconditional love, confirmed to us that here you never walk alone. These fans don't just support, it feels. And what you have made my boyfriend and our entire family feel is something we will carry to our souls. Thank you for so much love, so much dedication, and making us feel at home. Being part of this being part of this fan is a privilege. Yeah, it's a privilege. There's no doubt they are the best. They are the best in the world. This is a real bond, deep and strong, that reaffirms that we will never walk alone. By the way, guys, apologies, guys, that I keep stuttering. It's an issue that I have, so sorry about that. But basically, guys, if what Luis Díaz said was cryptic, this sounds more of a goodbye, to be honest, right? It sounds more of a goodbye to me. More, he's kind of thanking the fans for giving them all of this support. And let me know what you guys are gonna say in the comment section below, because I think this sounds like a goodbye. Now, Obviously, Barcelona is one of the key targets for Luis Diaz this summer. However, we are not the only ones, guys. We are not the only ones. Because guess what? So is Saudi, guys. Saudi are lurking. And Saudi have the money. And to be honest with you guys, I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if we lose out to Saudi. Because he's 28 years old. He has a family. And let's be real, right? He's from Colombia. He's from South America. And we know when it comes to South Americans, especially from the side of the world that Luis Diaz is from, at the end of the day, when they offer these guys a certain amount of cash, these guys, they have families, they have a lot of people to take care of. Sometimes money talks. So it really depends. At the end of the day, if they offer the right amount, I can see him walking out, leaving Europe entirely and moving to Saudi. But let me know what you guys are saying about this deal. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that he's going to leave the club? All right, go join us this season, or do you think that the Saudi appeal, as far as the money is concerned, is going to be too much for him to reject? Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the one that a lot of you guys, I'm sure, are here for me to talk about, guys. It is Joan Garcia, ladies and gentlemen. Joan Garcia, as we know, has been heavily linked to the club. He has been all over the news everywhere, guys. Every Barcelona outlet you go to, they are talking about this man right here. And to be fair, guys, he has been talking a lot recently, right? He's been saying quite a lot, talking about, the fact that, the final decision is not on him. He doesn't really, he knows what he wants and all of these stuff. And it's down to the clubs to make an agreement and all of these stuff. Now, we all know at the end of the day, Joan Garcia has a release clause, which is 25 million, which is very, very cheap, let's be honest, right? So I don't think that is an issue. Barcelona can just trigger the buyout clause. However, there has been a lot of news that have been coming out recently, not too long ago. Basically, we've got breaking news that apparently Joan Garcia has yet to make a final decision. Barcelona have made considerable progress in the recent days in the discussion with his representatives, but the move to the Premier League is still possible. Now, I know that when it comes to the move to the Premier League, the one club that I know have been interested have been Newcastle United. Now, Newcastle have Nick Pope. I don't know what the whole thing with that whole talk with him going to Newcastle is. Now, I will be first to admit, right? Obviously, we know that Joan Garcia plays for our rivals in Espanyol. So, it's going to be harder because he is an Espanyol kid. Maybe, he's deep in thought, because at the end of the day, he's moving to their most heated rivals. So, that's going to bring a lot of noise, if that happens. So, I don't know what's going to happen here, because 1 minute it seems like it's going to happen. Next minute it's not going to happen. The news has just been everywhere. 1 minute we've agreed terms with him. Next minute we haven't. But what I know for sure now is that apparently we will know for sure in the coming days, right? So apparently by, Monday, today, even today on Monday, by the time this news roundup comes out, we probably will hear some other news come out on this Joan Garcia deal, because it seems like every single hour something new is always coming out. But truth be told, right, I think that he's a great option. However, if he is not committed, we can't skip staying in this, because if we're actually serious about trying to get a new keeper, there's other options. I've seen recently we've also been linked to the Brighton keeper, right? I can't pronounce his name. I think is it Van Bronken or something like that, right? And also we've been linked to Lucas Chavanier from Lille, and that is a goalkeeper that many Ligue 1 fans, I've been speaking to a lot of my Ligue 1 mates. They've been telling me he's a top keeper. So, and I think he's only leaving for 40 million. I think he has a 40 million release clause. So if the Joan Garcia thing, if he's not convinced, we just have to move on and maybe look at one of those keepers. But what we need for sure is a new keeper. There's no doubt about it. We need a new keeper. But let me know what you guys are saying about this deal. Do you guys think that, this is, at the end of the day, Joan Garcia might be just carrying us on a wild goose chase? Tell me what you guys are saying in the comment section below. And let me know what you guys think of the Barcelona News Roundup. Tell me what you guys are saying about the Luis Díaz messages, his missus, him and his missus, what they said. Do you think that we are gonna sign him? Do you think that he's more likely to go to Saudi? And also let me know about this whole Joan Garcia thing. Do you think at the end of the day he's taking us to a wild goose chase? Let me know what you guys are saying in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and like I always say whenever I end the streams, guys, Visca el Barça, Visca el Catalonia, and peace, you guys. Take care.